Well, it's Halloween in a few days, so this is the final piece of Halloween-themed content that you'll have to endure, at least until next year. And what better way to round off the festivities than to look at some bone-chillingly frightening acts in the metal world today. Some of these bands, through their appearance, musical style, lyric writing, and the atmosphere they create, have truly embraced the meaning of the word horror, and some of them, through their real-life actions, are just purely f***ing frightening. I'm going to start by giving you a warning, though. I have tried to include bands that people might actually have heard of, because obviously I know there are a million underground black metal acts that get up to some pretty terrifying shit, but they won't do much to generate those sweet, sweet clicks, though. Also, I've tried to include a good mixture of genres, but if some of the acts happen to play a similar style of music, that's just how it worked out. The heavier stuff is more likely to be scary after all, so without any further interruptions, this is our 5 scariest metal bands. Number 5, Cannibal Corpse. We start the list with the kingpins of American death metal, because if slasher movies had a favourite band, it would definitely be Cannibal Corpse. Except Freddy Krueger, of course, because his favourite band would be Sleep. Yeah, I know, I'm disappointed in myself, don't worry. Cannibal Corpse's back catalogue, though, reads less like a list of songs and more like an incredibly graphic collection of short stories set to blisteringly heavy music. Their lyrical work characterises the sinister traits of the most dangerous people in society, putting the listener into the POV of serial killers, ghouls, and those who take pleasure in ejaculating blood. Their song titles too encapsulate the world of sheer terror that they aim to create, because you'll never find the likes of Gallery of Suicide, I Will Kill You, Skull Full of Maggots, and Make Them Suffer on your family party playlist. Unless your family is the Manson family. Oh, and don't forget their album covers, which need no description, and really contain the most pointless and glaringly obvious parental advisory warnings of all time. And there was the small matter of their guitarist Pat O'Brien, who was arrested when 80 firearms and 3 skulls were found inside his house. Need I say any more? Number 4. Ghost. Oh look, Ghost are in another one of these lists. That's a shock. And doubtless there's a lot of people right now angrily thinking they're not even metal. And to that I say Faith, Mummy Dust, Cerise, Year Zero, and the entire Opus Eponymous album. That's metal enough for me. Ghost mainly make this list for the world they've created outside their music, with the characters inside their mysterious clergy shrouded in mystery, and the purpose of the clergy itself being as yet unclear. The variations of Papa Emeritus, there we are, I said it right, Cardinal Copia, and Papa Emeritus Zero are very well designed, with their lifeless rubber masks, face paint, and anti-pope garb playing a subtle homage to certain elements of the horror genre. Obviously, the tongue-in-cheek satanism of their lyrics and darkly cinematic style of their music videos goes a long way in propping up their spooky aura, but what is truly terrifying is the way they deliver the creepy subject matter with calm vocals and the soothing musical style of a satanic Blue Oyster cult. As I've said before, the context of the band's lyrics isn't to be taken seriously, but the theatricality is fun and brings a good listening atmosphere during not just the Halloween season, but year-round. Number 3. Cradle of Filth. The only black and death metal pioneers to come straight out of Suffolk, England, you couldn't do a list on scary metal bands without including Cradle of Filth, a group that is essentially gothic literature come to life. Breaking free of the shackles that are the death metal niche and the mainstream perception of their genre, Cradle of Filth used MTV to their advantage, harnessing the power of both satanic and gothic imagery to allow their atmospheric music videos to stand out from the crowd, all the while with Danny Filth screaming about ghosts, demons, and the manticore. Cradle of Filth used shock value to their advantage, never being afraid to be extreme or obscene, coupling that well with their spine-tingling spookiness and signature gothic look, not forgetting, of course, their lyricism, telling tales of dark tragedy and vampiric romance. Fun fact, Cradle of Filth frontman Danny Filth actually starred in a low-budget British horror film called Cradle of Fear, playing the supernatural villain The Man, with the rest of the lineup from the band's Midian era popping up in various cameos. The film is a complete and utter gore-fest, to be honest with you, and it's not all that good, but it could make some interesting Halloween viewing for those who are curious. Number 2. Watain. Now we're going to take a look at some legitimately terrifying stuff as we take a look at Swedish black metalers Watain, a band that has gained infamy since their formation in 1998 due to their theistic satanist views and the extremity of their live performances. We all know black metal bands are extreme, you just have to listen to their music to know that, but just how extreme are Watain? Well, let me take you back to 2014, where the band played a show in Brooklyn, New York, where, as usual, they had animal blood and carcasses present on stage. They then doused the audience in said animal blood, allegedly causing audience members to vomit. The incident was picked up by TMZ, who of course created hysteria around it, making the whole thing 10 times worse. Watain members in the past have even allegedly killed pigeons to get the blood for their concerts, and have also been accused of trying to buy dogs from the homeless as yet another source of blood, which is pretty up. Frontman Eric Danielson has even allegedly alluded to this in interviews, but categorically denied it in 2013. Whether you believe all these things or just see it as a black metal band trying to look edgy and evil as a marketing tool, it is undeniable that it is pretty damn scary. Number 1. Mayhem. Okay, there isn't any other band that could really take the top spot on this list because Mayhem, in their heyday, were terror personified. A lot of you will probably have heard this story before, but for those that haven't, I say buckle up because this is going to get f***ing terrifying. It all starts with frontman Dead, who actually believed he was dead and would cut himself on stage with knives and broken glass. Dead committed suicide on the 8th of April 1981 and was found dead by the band's guitarist Euronymous with slashed wrists and a shotgun wound to his head, his suicide note reading, "Excuse all the blood, cheers." Euronymous, instead of contacting the authorities, photographed the corpse with a disposable camera, with one of the pictures going on to be used as the album cover of a bootleg live album. It was also alleged that Euronymous made a stew out of Dead's brain and made necklaces out of the pieces of his skull, which he would give to musicians he deemed worthy. The part about the stew, thankfully, was proven to be an urban myth, but the necklace part was unsettlingly true. On August 10th, 1993, Euronymous himself would be stabbed to death by VARG, and we all know VARG, who claimed that the guitarist attacked him first. 23 cut wounds are found on Euronymous' corpse, and VARG would swiftly be arrested for murder and church burning, being sentenced to 21 years in prison. The whole story is documented in the book The Lords of Chaos and its subsequent horror film adaptation, which debuted in 2019 and received generally mixed reviews. Be warned though, these accounts are not 100% factually accurate. Gothic literature influences and lyrics about slashers don't actually seem too scary now, all things considered. And that's the list. Did I miss any out? Let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to see more videos like this. And you can check out some of our other content right here. You've been watching Trash Network, and happy Halloween.